Hi guys, it's the Island Girl and I'm back with another reaction video for you today. And today I'm reacting to three American myths we don't believe anymore after living in Europe. And I'm getting this one from Baguette Bound. The link will be in the description below. Please go over and show them some love, guys. All right, tell them Island Girl sent you. So we're going to get right into this one. So if you're new to my channel, it's the first time here, come on in, rock back, put a smile on your face, and enjoy. To all my regular schmegglers, day one, sweetie pies, sweetie poos, come on in, rock back, put a smile on your face, and enjoy. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. All right, guys, don't forget to give this a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Here we go, right about now.
There are three beliefs about life in the US that Americans, including us, tend to grow up with.
I think we didn't even realize the extent to how ingrained these ideas are in the psyche of Americans until after we left the US.
Yeah.
It's almost a little like brainwashing.
A little bit. But now that we live abroad in France, we realize that these almost universally held American beliefs aren't really so true.
All right.
Hi, I'm Raina.
I'm Jason.
And we're Baguette Bound.
When you grow up in the US, you're surrounded by American flags. You recite the Pledge of Allegiance every day in school, right? And you're told both directly and indirectly all the time that the US does everything the best. But then when you move somewhere else, for us it was France, you realize that lots of other places in the world actually do a little better.
Yeah, it sounds so ridiculous and egotistical, I know, but when you grow up in a country as big and as isolated from other countries as the US is, you just really genuinely don't know and haven't seen anything different.
Yeah.
True.
Then when you do see those other places and you realize whoa, there's places where people have universal high quality healthcare and affordable education, and it's statistically much safer than the US. It really just shocks your American brain.
Yeah.
There's also this weird, pervasive belief that because the US is the greatest country on earth, if they haven't figured it out,
nobody else
has.
Yeah. This can.
I know we just started, but guys, this is so true. I did not realize that that's how it is until I got here in the US. Every crevice and corner you see a flag flying high. I'm not saying they're not supposed to be proud of their country, don't get me wrong, but that's one thing that I notice here. And they say the pledge every morning. I didn't know that was the case until my kids got into the school system. I realized because I was there most of the time. And yes, it is a huge place, and a lot of people think that there's no place on earth as great as the USA. It is what it is, and that's how they think, because America is huge, and outside of America is everywhere else is crap. And then a lot of Americans believe that to the fullest, guys. 100%. A lot of Americans really believe that.
Include some really basic things, even basic water sanitation.
Yep.
We had friends and family that came and visited us here in France recently, and they had to ask if they could drink the water.
Wow.
They'd actually brought with them a whole set of advanced water purification equipment, and they were brushing their teeth with bottled water at first before we could talk to them and assure them the tap water is perfectly safe.
France is another advanced country.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we thought this was actually even more funny because Evian water from Evian, France sells in the US for $5 a bottle. And so when you're in the US, you can drink French water, but not when you're in France. I don't know. Struck us as a little funny.
Yeah. Another commonly held American truism is that Americans are somehow just more free than people in other democracies. Even our national anthem, which we sing all the time, it includes the line, the land of the free, the home of the brave. But what does that land of the free actually mean?
Right.
What liberties exactly do people have in the US that they don't have in so many other places around the world?
Oh, guys, this is a big one. This is a really big one. And this is something that is like they said, it's like a brainwash thing when it comes on to what they just said. Because I'm like, do you guys really believe it's the land of the free? Like seriously, that's a genuine question. Because oh baby,
Not long ago, we heard someone describe the difference in how Europeans and Americans view freedom. And it really struck home. It really captured the spirit of, I think, what we've observed here. I think that Americans want the freedom the freedom to carry a gun,
yep,
to do what they want, when they want, to practice their religion openly, to choose how to spend all their money.
Yeah, and the contrast to that was the idea that Europeans are looking more, they see freedoms from. So freedom from the threat of violence, freedom from dying lack of due to healthcare, freedom from having a religion imposed on them, freedom from pollution and toxins in their environment and food. So I don't know, we were talking about this concept of what American freedom is. Feels like it's become really extreme in the last few years. Meaning in the US now, like certain groups expect their own personal freedoms to trump everything else, no matter the cost to society or their fellow Americans.
Man, I've never heard it put like that before, and that's beautifully put by the Europeans, like freedom from, while America is freedom to bear arms, freedom to. I'm like, wow, mind blown. Freedom from. That makes more sense. Wow. And the American individualism, when you think about it, it is sad because there's definitely a lot of different groups that is all about them. It's crazy that that's just how it is. And they are so right. American and individualism is on another level, and it's becoming more and more extreme. I realize as the years go by, certain groups just believe that it's all about them and the rights to certain things, and they don't care about nobody else. And that is so sad. And they don't care. That's the thing. They don't care. And they are allowed to do it too. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah. And as an American, the intensity of this individualism, I think it can color how you view the policies of the other countries out there.
Definitely.
Because you don't always realize or have the context to realize that these policies, they might mean different forms of freedom and still make for a more stable, fair, open, and enjoyable society.
True.
Yeah. So, lastly, the thing that has changed that we see differently now is quality of life and how we define it. In the US, when we lived there versus now in France and Europe. When I was a kid in the US, my definition of like what quality of life or growing up and being able to have a good life was, it kind of revolved around how much money I could make when I grew up.
Yep.
That sounds embarrassingly materialistic. And it kind of is. But the honest thing is to be able to buy more, bigger, nicer, better things. It's just like a big focus of American culture. You see it on TV and movies and advertisements.
Bigger is better.
That soaks in even when you're a kid. The house you can buy, the car you can drive, the size of the TV you have. If you buy your clothes or your candles from like certain shops, that all kind of paints a picture and defines if you have a good quality of life in U.S. culture.
Yeah, I think, and maybe in other words, being visibly wealthy is just a stand-in for quality of life in the U.S.
Yep.
So I think American people will sometimes say that the quality of life is lower in Europe. And why? Because that's what you can see. Europeans tend to make less money, have lower incomes.
Before they go further, man, they are so right on this one when it comes on to quality of life. And this is a big one I realized since I've started looking outside of my bubble or outside of the US, and seeing how other people live and appreciate certain things and lifestyle outside of this place that is the so-called greatest place on earth. Guys, it is sad. And the American mentality is bigger is better. The big car, the big house, the big this, the big that. And they're so right when it comes on to the way you carry yourself, which high-end store that you buy your clothes from. That's what they look at and think that it is. That's a better quality of life. And she's right. Growing up, all you think about is when I grow up, I need to be rich. I need to have money and I will have a better quality of life. And that is not the case here. The more money you get, it's like American lifestyle is competing with the Joneses. You don't have it, you strive to get it, and when you get it, you gotta keep working to keep it. And when you try to work to keep it, there's no form of enjoyment, but you just have to make sure when the Jones look at you, you're still looking good. You're still striving. And that's messed up. So messed up. And that's how these kids are being taught, or everybody that was born here, that's how they've been taught to look a certain way, carry yourself a certain way, have the most expensive stuff, and it's sad. That is no life at all. And then you look outside, like they said, at a different country, and you're like, they don't have no quality of life. Their life is, look at how they dress based on appearance. It's sad. Look at how they eat. Look at what you can't judge based on that.
They live in smaller houses. They have fewer cars. They have tiny refrigerators. There's often no clothes dryers. What kind of place is this?
See this video.
Yeah. But we've come to understand that Europeans tend to have, I think they tend to be wealthier than Americans in two really distinct ways. Mm-hmm. That might be hard to see from the outside, but probably define quality of life better than a simple GDP number or, the number of seats in your SUV might capture. I think Europeans tend to have both more time and more peace of mind.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, I am not saying in any way that the French or Europeans in general they don't have worries, or they're like sitting around eating bonbons, or they never want to buy some, Air Jordans or an American sized fridge.
Yeah.
None of that. But there's one really big difference, I think, that we've seen. And that is Europeans tend to have a value system around personal time and a social system that around basic human needs that support well-being.
Yeah. Those two things, they come together for a quality of life that might be really hard to value on a graph or a balance sheet, the way you could, the stuff maybe in your house could be captured.
Yeah.
And what does those two things look like in France? There's just a deep respect for your free time to be able to spend with family and to do things for pleasure or maybe just intellectual interest.
Yeah.
This might mean that businesses are open for fewer hours, that work weeks are a little shorter.
Wow.
And workers generally get 5 weeks of vacation per year.
Whoa.
And this all adds up to
guys. And this is what a lot of Americans don't get when it comes on to the quality of life somewhere else outside of the US. They think their way of life is they look down on other countries' way of life, like their third world countries, and look, their quality of life is so bad. Their tap water cannot be consumed. They don't know what it is like to have a lavish house, drive a nice car, buy the latest, get the body done. That's not it. And this is what they're failing to understand, that look, quality time, family time, less. And guys, remember, I've never been to Europe, but with all the videos that I have reacted to and looking into the UK and different regions in the European regions, I have realized they all have something in common, and it is to say that, look, we're more We're a little bit more stress free. We put more emphasis on family time, working less, vacation time, enjoying one's life. And that is how life is supposed to be. And that is what America is missing, and they don't get it. They don't get it.
More time for meals with family, more, access to high quality food. These are all things that are seen as essential parts of life.
Yes.
I'm also not up at night worrying about how am I going to pay and buy my insulin? How am I going to pay for my daughter's education going forward?
So, again, it's not that life is easy, but there's a sense of ease and safety that I feel here in France that was just missing in the US. And this peace of mind feels worth way more than that overpriced Pottery Barn comforter ever did in the U.S.
Yeah, wealth as the U.S. glamorizes it with more, and flashier stuff. It just doesn't look the same to me now. And overcoming the idea that no one anywhere does anything better than the U.S., that Americans are somehow freer, or that America is the only place to find a high quality of life. These are all just myths that living abroad has kind of dismantled for us.
Yeah. So, if you're hesitating to make the jump to live abroad, but it's your dream, don't let these internal beliefs that we as Americans kind of all get brainwashed into our whole lives. Don't let that stop you. Because you know what? You're American. You're very optimistic. You can do anything. And sometimes that means moving. Thanks for watching.
A biento.
I love the way that they put it, guys. They're not bashing the US. No, they're just saying that, listen, the quality of life, what you think should be emphasized on living here, it shouldn't be. There's more to life than what it is, what you're served on a platter here in the US, pretty much. Look, I'm less stress-free. I don't have to worry about being in debt for education, for my health, for spending quality time with my family, for paying the next bill. You understand? It's not that there's no worries outside of the US, and there's no stress. That's not the point that they're making. But they don't have to really sit down and ponder on these things, because life in general, where they are, they feel much safer, more relaxed, more stress-free than what we grew up, or more than what people were taught from an early age in the US, that listen, more is better, and whichever way you have to get it, you get it, without, even if it takes away all the enjoyment, even if it takes away all your freedom, even if it takes away spending quality time and enjoying your life in the process. Beautiful video. I love the simplicity of it. I love how they put it. Look, they didn't say I'm denouncing America. They did not. They said, listen, this is how we see this, the myth that we see, that we believe from an early age, as the veil has been lifted from our eyes. We don't see it anymore since we've moved outside of the US, and now in Europe, in France to be exact. This is how we see it. Beautiful video. Like I said, the link for them will be in the description below. Go over and show them some love. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you agree with them or not? It's your island girl, and I'm running out of here. Like I said, guys, be good, be kind, love each other, and I'll definitely catch you guys in another video. Love you guys. Bye.